Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This week's Torah portion, we find something very unique about the first word in the book of Vayikra, and that is there's a small aleph. Whereas most letters in the Torah are exactly the same size, there's a large beis at the beginning of Bereshit, beis representing the idea of two, of unity. But nevertheless, by Vayikra, there's a small aleph. And the rabbi asks the question, why is there such a small aleph by the word of Vayikra? And the answer, there's many answers, but one of the answers represents the humility of Moshe Rabbeinu. What does it mean, the humility of Moshe Rabbeinu? That Moshe Rabbeinu was humble. God was calling upon him. All of a sudden he's humble. Until now, God called upon him every single time. There was always humility. Moshe Rabbeinu himself never wanted to be the leader. Remember the story of the burning bush. Moses doesn't want to, God tells Moses, I want you to go back. He doesn't want to until he forces him. So I'm going to give you your brother. He says, Ani aras vasayim. I am uncircumcised lips. From the time of he was a child, he had a lisp. He said, I'm not your leader. I'm not your guy. But nevertheless, Moshe Rabbeinu takes on that position. And so there was never a time that Moshe ever presented ego. He always represented humility. What was unique over here in the book of Vayikra, we're beginning this Shabbos, the book of Leviticus? And the answer is something very special. And that is, until now, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, was the greatest leader of the Jewish people. He brought the people, he came to Paro, he told them, let my people go. He brought on the plagues. He took the Jewish people out of Egypt. He went on top of the Har Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights, where he was actually sitting there learning the Torah with God. He brings down the tablets. He breaks the tablets when he sees the Jews are there with the golden calf. He brings the Jewish people back up. He stands up for them. He says, take my name out of your Torah if you don't make a great nation out of the Jewish people, or if you want to kill the Jewish people because of the sin of the golden calf. He learns how to receive atonement with Hashem Karachum B'Chanun. And then he brings down the second set of tablets that we read at the end of last week. We read about in the Torah portion in Parshas Kisisa at the end. He has the whole Mishkan, the tabernacle, entirely built. He orchestrates the building of the tabernacle, appoints the people to build them, and ultimately anoints the Kohanes to serve in the Holy Temple. But what's interesting about Moses is that this week's Torah portion, we begin talking about the sacrifices. And Moses himself couldn't bring certain sacrifices. Moses himself was not a Kohen. And so while he designates his brother Aaron, Aaron becomes the high priest, and Aaron's children will be the Kohen. But Moses himself is not a Kohen. He's not a priest. He comes from the tribe of Levi, and the Levites come from Moses. But he is not able to serve. He's not able to bless the Jewish people like we have in our synagogue today when the Kohens get up on the holidays, which we'll have on Passover on next Sunday, and they sing the Yivarechecha Hashem B'Shmerecha. He can't get a Kohen Aliyah, and he couldn't do things in the Holy Temple like the Kohanim do. Forget about the Kohen Gadol. Forget about the high priest like Aaron, who would serve in the holy space where the ark and the menorah and the showbread was and the altar of incense. And so Moses, who is the greatest Jewish leader, who is the one who took the Jewish people out of everything, and he brought the Jewish people out of Egypt, split the sea, took them out of slavery, ultimately gives up everything, and that he can't go into the land of Israel. And he cannot go and serve in the holy space, in the holy temple. Forget about the holies of holies. He designates Aaron as the high priest. He doesn't designate himself. And we see that's the reason why there's a small aleph. Moses knows to be a true leader, you have to let other people around you grow. You can't have an ego. You have to let other people have their space. And even though this was the holiest, he knew that this wasn't his space. He wasn't able to serve in the Holy Temple. Because if he had to serve full-time in the Holy Temple, he couldn't be the leader of the Jewish people. He wouldn't be able to take care of everyone if he was busy serving in the Holy Temple. But nevertheless, it was a difficult moment for him, because we finally dedicated the tabernacle at the end of last week's Torah portion. We anointed the Kohanim. We anointed all of the vessels. And now this was the first week where he can't actually serve in the Holy Temple. And so although Moshe is not able to serve in the Holy Temple, he's much greater than that because of his humility. We find in the first pasuk of this week's Torah portion, it says, Adam ki yakriv mikem karban laHashem. When a man will sacrifice from amongst himself a karban laHashem. Really, it should have said Adam ki yakriv. A man will sacrifice. But because he says mikem, from amongst you, it means that we have to sacrifice a little bit of himself. Moshe could have been everything. He could have said, I'm a leader and I'll be the high priest. But he sacrificed a little bit of himself to let others have space and to grow. And so too in our own lives. When we sacrifice a little bit of ourselves and let ourselves grow and become closer to Hashem and let others grow around us is when we become true leaders. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and get ready for Passover. We're just 1 week away. If you need to sell your chametz, and or if you want a place for the Seder, visit us at jewishdowntown.com. Shabbat Shalom.